The traders at Axis Bank expect bond investors to continue cherry-picking, though on a less aggressive note, given the possibility of an OMO auction on Thursday. Meanwhile, the T-bills market is poised to remain bullish as the market is awash with liquidity. Bosun Obembe, Treasury Team Member at Axis Bank, joins me now for more market updates. Bosun, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Good
Bring us up to speed on market trading action so far. Let's start with the money market.
So like you rightly said, the money market is actually there's a lot of liquidity that came into the system. Coming into the week, the market was in repo, but on Monday there was FAC payment, about 595 billion came into the system, where we turned around the market status to positive. And yesterday too, we had a OMO maturity about 40 billion, and there were also inflow that came into the system. So opening today, market the liquidity is over 600 billion. So before this week, we were trading at 20% level, but now market is trading at 2%, 3% level. So this is expected to continue even up to like next week. So we'll be trading at a single digit.
What about the bond market? Talk to us about on the yield curve where you're seeing the most action.
So regarding the yield curve for the Treasury bill space, so I will just talk about for next week we have a Treasury maturity. Just like you know, what drives the market is the liquidity. Given that we have a lot of liquidity currently in the system, so we'll start to see the bullish run coming into the system. And earlier in the week, the minister mentioned something about the government will not be aggressive at borrowing, so more like maybe we might not be seeing more security coming to the system. And today, the NTB calendar for the fourth quarter was actually released as well, where about 1.3 trillion maturing will be rolled over. So the DMO is not intending to borrow more than what is maturing. So and with the liquidity that we have in the system, the indication that we have the yield coming down. At the last NTB auction, the yield, the 1-year paper closed at 13.97. But at next week, we have about 215 billion maturing in NTB. So I expect, given the high level of system liquidity, I expect the yield to actually come down, and investor will participate fully at this the upcoming auction next week.
I don't know if you mentioned this, but do you think that OMO, what are the chances of the OMO auction happening on Thursday?
I think the OMO auction that we saw this month, it was a surprise one. So we are expected that CBN will be consistent with this OMO auction, but we've not seen any OMO auction from the CBN, given that, okay, like I said, in the last 2 weeks, the market has been very tight, but now that we have a lot of liquidity in the system, so it might not be possible for CBN to come tomorrow, because OMO is one of the instruments that CBN uses to actually control the money supply. So they might actually come in tomorrow and float OMO auction to actually mop out this excess liquidity in the system, because if you have too much money, then it will fuel the inflation that is already at 24% level. So I think they might come up with OMO so that to actually control this excess liquidity in the system. All
right, let's go to the FX market. Talk to us about the Naira, where it's trading now. I believe it did 77534 against the greenback on Tuesday.
Yeah, so the Naira has been at 700, 775 levels. We've not really been seeing the inflows coming into the system. Like 2 weeks ago, CBN was very active in the market, intervening to actually bring down this exchange rate. That, you know, before now the exchange rate went as high as in the times as high as 900, but CBN actually came to actually intervene in the market and brought the rate to this 700 level. So, but we've not really seen that intervention come from CBN. So what we've been seeing is we've been seeing some FDI in terms of maybe loan repayment from corporate coming to bringing in funds. The main fund that we need, which is the hot money from the foreign portfolio investors, we've not really seen that, which has meaning that we see have more demand than supply. So there is still pressure on the exchange rate, but I still expect that it will trade below 800.
Let's talk about the corporate bonds market. We have about 2 minutes left. Can you bring us up to speed on kind of rates we're seeing there? I mean, prospects for companies wanting to raise cash at a time like this, especially through commercial papers. I mean, just looking at the benchmark from the FGN, etc.
Yeah, I think at least given the high system liquidity, so I think if a corporate wants to actually tap into the commercial paper window, I think this is the maybe this between this week and next week is actually the right time to come. If you recollect, I think last week MTNK came with a commercial paper issue which closed at about 13.5 level. So this is a good time for the corporates to actually tap into the corporate the debt market to actually issue commercial paper. So I believe maybe if you look at the 1 year trading at 13%, so you just had like a risk premium of maybe 2 to 3%. So they can come to the risk fund at maybe 16, 17%, 16, 15% level. So
Wow.
yes.